submarine, and it was ordered back to its base about 2,000 miles from where it was, and it went missing somewhere around the Gulf of Saint-Tropez, and the search has been going on for the last week. As you say, concerns about the oxygen supply on board. It could be as much as 7 to 10 days, but time is clearly running out. There are half a dozen countries that have got both aircraft and ships now searching for that submarine, but as yet nothing firm. There have been a few false alarms. As you say, there was this report of what's called a hydric-acoustic anomaly. More questions than answers, to be honest. Was there a catastrophic failure on the submarine? As recently as an hour ago, there was a suggestion that a US maritime patrol aircraft had picked up an object near its last known position, but the US Embassy has since said that that object is not the lost submarine. Talk about attempts to communicate, but again, that was a false trail. So I think, no doubt about it, as the hours pass, the concerns about the crew increase, and hopes of finding them alive are also fading.
But if we go back to the last known position, the last known contact, the sub surfaced to report a fault. Am I right, there was no distress call, and even the implication they'd fixed it?
Yeah, the suggestion from the crew on board was that it was something that they'd fixed and that they could return home. They were ordered home, and to their port of Mar del Plata. About to say, with time going on, with worries about the oxygen levels on that submarine, if there wasn't a catastrophic failure and they are still alive, well, certainly there isn't much time to find her. And the last incident where essentially a stricken submarine crew were rescued while they were underwater was 1939. That was the USS Suelos off the coast of New England. So, we all know about the Kursk, the Russian submarine in 2000, which had crew on board, and they didn't get to that crew in time. Concerns are huge.
Finally, for the history of this as well, the UK has landed a plane in Argentina. I mean, that's something we never thought we were going to be reading about. Is it the RAF?
Yeah, so the RAF have been involved already over the past week. They sent a Hercules C-130 to help look for the submarine. It hasn't got any equipment on board that can actually trace submarines like some of the US aircraft now searching. But this Voyager transport aircraft, first time an RAF plane we know has landed in Argentina since the Falklands. That had, the problem is they haven't found a submarine yet.
Jonathan Beale, the BBC's defence correspondent, thank you very much indeed. Now, Joe Marjoram is a former officer in the Royal Navy serving on submarines. Hello, Joe.
Good afternoon, Paddy.
How long did you spend in submarines?
Well, I only did about 2.5 years in submarines, but many people make a very successful career of it and enjoy the lifestyle and the atmosphere and the work.
You joined the Navy, and the Navy then transferred you onto a sub. What was the first night like?
Well, the first time I dived in a submarine was actually in the Irish Sea, heading south on a trip to Canada. And actually, the first time you dive in a submarine, even though you know that everyone knows their job and the equipment's perfectly safe, you still feel a butterfly in your stomach, that's for sure, as you see through the periscope the water envelop the submarine. So it's the first time certainly a bit of nerves, but you soon get used to it.
Did anything ever go wrong for you?
Yeah, we had a couple of incidents in HMS Vengeance. One was a very small fire, which was pretty quickly put out, but certainly focuses the mind. You realise how quickly these things can spread. Anyone that's had even a small fire at home will know how devastating they can be, how quickly they take hold. And obviously in the submarine, underwater, much more dangerous. And the other one we had, which was also pretty alarming, was when we were plunging by the stern. So the submarine, we were attempting to go to periscope depth, so we should have been going up from deeper water to shallow, and in fact we're going back the other way, getting deeper and deeper with every passing minute, and that also focuses the mind a bit, Paddy.
And what had happened there? I mean, my mind wouldn't be focused, I can tell you that. Why did that happen?
So we were actually doing some sea training, and we had some staff on board from the Royal Navy, and one of the things you do all the time in all walks of life in the armed forces is constantly practice for when things go wrong. So one of the things they did was turn off the reactor, the nuclear reactor that was propelling us forward, and that's called a reactor scram in the jargon. So they turned it off basically, and because the submarine was a bit too heavy at the back end, rather than go up, we started going down and back the other way, and in the end, you have to take a decision to put the reactor back online and try and propel yourself back to the surface.
I mean, I'm hearing about this one, and I can only imagine, as someone who's served on a submarine, how your heart goes out to these Argentinian sailors.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, that's really the most important thing. Is this is most likely now to be a tragedy in which all 44 members of the crew have died. And whatever the differences we may have had with the Argentines in years gone by, I think we would all offer our deepest sympathy and condolences to the families and loved ones of those crew members.
I mean, it's a very active search, and it's not been pronounced as a tragedy yet, although the sister of one of the crew, she said she feels like she's waiting for the call. She feels this dreadful weight. I mean, in terms of the actual service that these crew are used to, how long did you yourself spend out of contact with the surface? I mean, what was the longest period you did underwater?
The longest time we would have done this place was 10 or 11 weeks. And that is perfectly normal in the type of submarines that I was in, which was the Vanguard class submarines that carried the nuclear deterrent from the United Kingdom. This is a diesel-electric submarine, and so it would have a much more limited sort of operational time in the water, because you're charging a battery using a diesel engine on the surface or periscope deck, using a battery to propel the submarine on the water. So it's not like having a nuclear reactor shut on your own. This is something where you have to keep going up and down to keep your battery topped up. To recirculate the air, so you've got plenty of clean air and oxygen on board, and you're spending much shorter periods underwater than I would have done.
Did you train for an evacuation of the craft, and what,
yes.
Is it the same with nuclear or diesel electric? What happened?
Yeah, the general principle of getting out of the submarine is the same, and unfortunately it's pretty unlikely. So the most likely way to have a success would be probably using one of these submarine rescue pods. So that's a small submarine that would hang on to the submarine on the seabed or wherever it may be. And of course then you need to